The entertainment world stood still. News spread like wildfire across every platform, every social media feed, every fan forum. Wang Yibo had been in a terrible car accident. But what came next sent shockwaves deeper than anyone could have expected. His longtime manager, the person who had been by his side through fame, fear, and fortune, was suddenly fired. No one saw it coming. But behind that single decision lay a chain of events so explosive, so emotionally charged, that fans could barely believe the truth unfolding before their eyes. The night of the accident was calm, eerily calm. The moon hung low over Beijing's highways, painting the roads in soft silver light. Wang Yibo, exhausted after a long day of filming, leaned back in a car seat, staring out of the window as the lights blurred into streaks of gold. He had just wrapped up a late shoot and was heading home, the kind of quiet, peaceful moment every artist looks forward to after days of nonstop work. But peace, as fate would have it, was short-lived. Just after midnight, the calmness shattered like glass. Tires screeched, metal twisted, and headlights cut through the darkness like lightning. Within seconds, everything changed. Wang Yibo's car spun out of control, a horrifying ballet of chaos. The crash was violent, the sound echoing across the empty stretch of road. Witnesses nearby said it was as if time froze, and when they ran toward the scene, all they could see was smoke, shattered glass, and the crumpled remains of the luxury car. Paramedics arrived swiftly. Cameras, too, because nothing involving Wang Yibo stays hidden for long. Fans woke up to the trending hashtag Wang Yibo accident. The world went silent. But while Yibo lay in the hospital, fighting through pain and recovery, another drama was already unfolding behind the curtains. One that had nothing to do with broken bones, but everything to do with broken trust. Inside the hospital's private wing, tension could be felt in every breath. Yibo's management team gathered in the corridor, their faces pale, their voices low. The company executives had arrived, and their expressions were stone cold. Rumors began swirling immediately. Was it the driver's fault? Did the manager schedule him too tightly? Why was he even on the road that late? The questions came like bullets, fast, sharp, and merciless. Then the truth began to surface. Someone inside the team had allegedly pushed the day's schedule to its limit, insisting that Yibo attend one more late-night meeting before heading home, despite his exhaustion. That person was none other than his manager, the same man who had guided his career for years, who had been seen at every award show, every backstage corridor, every red carpet moment by his side. The company was furious. The manager's phone was blowing up with calls from executives, lawyers, and PR officers. By dawn, the entire entertainment industry knew something was very wrong. And when the investigation confirmed that the schedule had indeed been overbooked against Yibo's own protests, everything snapped. The firing came like thunder. The official statement was short, cold, and final. Due to severe negligence resulting in endangerment of our artist's safety, the management has decided to terminate all contracts with Wang Yibo's former manager, effective immediately. Those words hit the media like a storm. Fans were shocked. Some were furious, some confused, and others heartbroken. For years, Yibo's manager had been a familiar face in the background, the one who handled his chaotic schedule, who protected him from paparazzi, who cheered for him backstage when no one else did. Their bond wasn't just professional. It was personal, almost brotherly. So why did it come to this? The answer lay in the unspoken code of the entertainment world. Trust and safety are sacred. It wasn't just about overworking an artist. It was about pushing him past his limits, ignoring warnings, and allowing exhaustion to become danger. Yibo had once joked in an interview, "Sometimes I forget what day it is because I never stop working." No one thought it would ever lead to something like this. Days after the manager's firing, the hospital became a sea of flowers, letters, and fan gifts. Fans from across Asia stood outside the building, some holding banners that read, "Get well soon, Yibo," while others simply cried quietly, praying for his recovery. Inside his room, the faint hum of medical machines filled the silence. Yibo lay resting, his leg in a cast, his face pale but calm. The accident had shaken him deeply, not just physically, but emotionally. He asked his team only one thing: what happened to him? There was a long silence before someone finally answered: he's been let go. Yibo didn't speak for a moment. Then he simply closed his eyes and whispered, "I see." That quiet sentence carried the weight of heartbreak and betrayal. He wasn't angry, not really. He was disappointed. He had trusted his manager with everything: his career, his time, his well-being. And now that trust was gone. But what the public didn't know was that there was more to the story. A leaked recording surfaced online a few days later. A heated argument between Yibo's manager and a production team member. In the clip, the manager could be heard saying, "He can rest later. This show can't wait. We need to finish tonight." That one sentence broke the internet. Fans flooded social media with outrage. Rest later? He almost lost his life because of that. How could someone treat him like that? The company tried to control the damage, but the fire had already spread. The former manager disappeared from public view completely. His social media accounts went silent. Every trace of him was erased from Yibo's fan pages and company archives. Meanwhile, Wang Yibo's recovery became a symbol of resilience. Weeks passed, and slowly he began to heal, both physically and emotionally. Fans watched him take his first steps again, guided by nurses and therapists. Each photo that leaked showed his determination shining through the pain. When he finally appeared before the press, walking carefully but smiling, the world erupted in cheers. Reporters bombarded him with questions about the accident, but Yibo only said, "Sometimes life forces us to stop, to see who's really there for us. I'm grateful to everyone who stood by me." He didn't mention his manager's name once. That silence spoke louder than any statement ever could. Behind the scenes, however, people whispered that Yibo had personally requested not to ruin his manager's future completely. He didn't want him blacklisted from the industry, only removed from his personal circle. That single act of compassion made fans admire him even more. It showed his heart, kind, forgiving, yet strong enough to protect himself. And as time went on, Yibo's career didn't just recover, it skyrocketed. His comeback project broke records, and fans flooded his concerts with thunderous applause. Yet, somewhere in that success, there was still a trace of sadness, a silent reminder of the night that changed everything. In the end, the firing wasn't just about punishment. It was a message to every manager, every producer, every agency. An artist is not a machine. The entertainment world runs on passion, but passion without care becomes danger. Wang Yibo's accident became a turning point, a wake-up call for an industry that often forgets the human side of fame. The world thought the story ended when Wang Yibo's manager was fired. But that was only the beginning. What happened after the announcement was even more unbelievable. A whirlwind of emotions, secrets, and regrets that unfolded like a drama no screenwriter could have written better. After the accident, Yibo's team tried to keep things private. But when the news broke that his trusted manager had been dismissed, the silence around the hospital corridors cracked open like thunder. Inside the cold walls of the entertainment company's headquarters, the tension was suffocating. Board members sat in a long glass conference room, the city lights reflecting off the table. Every face was grim. In the middle of that room sat Yibo's manager, the man once seen as unstoppable. His phone was face down, notifications flashing silently from reporters and friends who didn't yet know what was happening. One of the executives finally spoke, his voice calm but cutting like a knife. "You were responsible for his schedule. You knew he was exhausted." The manager's hands trembled slightly. "It wasn't supposed to be like this. He wanted to finish the shoot." "No," another voice interrupted sharply. "He wanted to rest. You pushed him anyway." The words struck like lightning. The room fell silent except for the hum of the air conditioner. He looked around. Faces that once smiled at him now avoided his eyes. The walls that once protected him were closing in. And at that moment, he realized something devastating. In the entertainment world, loyalty lasts only as long as success does. Outside, the media had already started piecing together the story. Paparazzi surrounded the hospital gates, their cameras flashing through the darkness. Fans stood in the rain, clutching posters and banners that read, "Stay strong, Yibo." The internet was on fire. Hashtags, speculation, anger. Some blamed the manager immediately. How could he let Yibo work until midnight? He's supposed to protect him, not push him. Others defended him, insisting it was just a tragic accident. But the truth, the real truth, was buried under layers of emotions and silence. Back in the hospital, Yibo remained quiet. He didn't ask for headlines. He didn't demand answers. He only stared out the window at the storm that had formed outside, his reflection pale against the glass. He remembered the manager's last words before the crash. "Just one more meeting, Yibo. Then we're done for the day, I promise." Those words now echoed like a curse. The day the manager was officially fired, reporters camped outside the company's office. Cameras clicked, voices shouted questions, and security guards struggled to keep the chaos under control. As the manager stepped out of the building for the last time, he wore dark glasses, his face hidden but his steps heavy. Every flash of a camera was like lightning against his soul. He didn't look back, not once. But as he entered the waiting car, he whispered something that only the driver heard. "Tell him, I'm sorry." That apology never reached Wang Yibo directly, but fate has a strange way of delivering messages. Inside the hospital, Yibo's assistant entered quietly, holding her phone. "Yibo," she said softly, "there's something you should see." On the screen was a news clip, footage of his manager walking out of the company, reporters yelling, cameras flashing, rain pouring like a curtain around him. And beneath the noise, a reporter's voice narrated. "The man once closest to Wang Yibo leaves the company today, following allegations of negligence in scheduling that led to the star's devastating accident." Yibo didn't say a word. He just stared at the screen until the video ended. Then, finally, he took a deep breath and said quietly, "Sometimes when you fly too close to the light, you forget how much it burns." The days that followed were filled with mixed emotions. The entertainment company released another statement to calm the fans. "We are ensuring Wang Yibo receives the best care and will resume work only when fully recovered. We also take full responsibility for ensuring his safety moving forward." But behind that polished statement, whispers continued to spread. Some staff said the manager had tried to reach Yibo multiple times, calls unanswered, messages ignored. Others claimed he left a letter. One nurse even said that late one night, a man had come to the hospital, standing in the shadows near the garden, looking up at Yibo's window. When security approached him, he left without saying a word, leaving only a folded envelope behind. Inside, it was a simple handwritten note. "I failed you, but I never meant to. You trusted me with your time, your energy, your life, and I took it for granted. I don't deserve forgiveness, but I hope one day you'll find peace in knowing that I truly cared." No one knows if Wang Yibo ever read that letter. Some say he burned it without a word. Others believe he kept it, hidden in one of his notebooks. But one thing was clear, that night changed both of their lives forever. Months later, when Yibo finally returned to work, the media expected him to be different, cautious, perhaps distant. But when he walked on stage for his first appearance, something about him had changed indeed. He smiled, but there was wisdom in his eyes, a quiet strength born from pain. In one of his interviews, a reporter nervously asked, "Do you miss anyone from your past team?" He paused, his gaze thoughtful. Then he said, "Every person in your life teaches you something. Some teach you how to dream. Others teach you what happens when you forget to rest. But in the end, all of them help you become who you are meant to be." It wasn't an attack. It wasn't revenge. It was reflection, pure, graceful, and strong. That answer melted hearts worldwide. Fans flooded comment sections with messages like, "This is why Wang Yibo is loved. Even after everything, he chooses kindness. He turned pain into wisdom. A true star." As time went on, the story of the accident and the firing became legend. A reminder to everyone in the entertainment world that fame comes with a price, and that behind every shining star is a human heart that feels, hurts, and forgives. Wang Yibo moved forward, stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever. But for those who knew the full story, there would always be a bittersweet undertone whenever his name was mentioned. The night of the accident would never be forgotten. The firing would never be erased. But the lessons, the humanity behind it all, would forever define his journey. And somewhere, perhaps watching from afar, his former manager still carries that regret, knowing that his mistake didn't just cost him his career, it cost him the trust of a man who once called him family. Clapperboard message to viewers. If this powerful continuation of Wang Yibo's story touched your heart, if you felt the emotion, the pain, and the strength behind his journey, then don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Your support keeps stories like these alive. Together, we'll keep exploring the untold truths behind the stars we love, their struggles, their resilience, and their unbreakable spirit.